Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passionate World Talk Radio Network. Excuse me, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network LLC. Educate, enlighten, entertain, and mindfulness. And on today's episode, it's not a scam per se, but it's dangerous. This article comes out of Newsweek 4 days ago. FBI warns parents across America of sinister networks targeting minors. Written by Sophie Clark, a live news reporter. And she says the FBI of investigation is warning parents about an online network under investigation that appears to be targeting minors. That's your child, your grandchild, your teenager, your young adult, friends, family, aunts, uncles, and they're manipulating them to carry out sinister acts. The Bureau said that members of the networks refer to themselves as 764 for the Texas zip code where it originated. They befriend minors online with video games, social media, and online forums, then coerce them into self-harm and creating explicit material. The FBI told Newsweek, quote, "The FBI is determined to identify and stop those who target the most vulnerable members of our society, our children." It matters because 764 is also targeting kids in Canada, according to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who put out a statement warning that, quote, "violent online groups are targeting and manipulating vulnerable children and youth across widely accessible online platforms." The FBI has a large investigation into more than 250 subjects alleged to be involved in 764 and engaged all 55 FBI field officers across the United States with these investigations. According to the Justice Department, members of the networks and people affiliated with them have coerced young girls into carving symbols into their bodies, use threats and intimidation to force young people into online and in-person personal sexual acts, and manipulated victims into harming animals. They are also accused of encouraging their victims to engage in suicidal and homicidal threats. Two people believed to be network leaders, Leonidas, Leonidas, last name Varagiannis. He's 21, also known as quote war unquote, and Prasan, last name Nepal, 20, also known as quote trippy unquote, were arrested and charged with operating a global child exploitation enterprise in April. But then several months later, 764 appears to pose a threat to your children. The FBI is leveraging counterterrorism and crimes against children expertise to counter this problem. They are providing training on countering 764 to personnel in all of their federal offices, the Bureau said in a statement to Newsweek last week. They have been agile in recognizing threats that are increasing and applying the appropriate resources. They are working closely with other law enforcement partners, both in the United States and overseas, on what these criminals actors are doing and how we can identify and hold them legally accountable. The Bureau said when it first became aware of 764, its members adhere closely to ideology that expose a strong racial or ethical bias that influenced their desire to bring about the downfall of society. But it said the network's goals have now shifters and members just want to sow chaos and facilitate the destruction of society with no further intent. The FBI says it will investigate cases as terrorism where individuals are engaging in criminal activity to further their social, political goals. It added, not all members of the 764 or similar networks for ideological reasons. Motivations vary from person to person, from group to group, and 764 members may be engaging in criminal activity for sexual gratification, social status, or a sense of belonging, or a mix of other reasons that may not be ideologically motivated. In these cases, they will investigate the crimes as criminal matter, not as terrorism. For that reason, each case is evaluated individually on a case-by-case basis. The FBI told the New York Newsweek, quote, "The FBI is growing increasingly concerned about a loose network of violent predators who befriend minors and other vulnerable individuals through popular online platforms and then coerce them into escalating sexual and violent behavior, pushing victims to create graphic content, child sexual abuse material, harm family pets, cut themselves with sharp objects, or attempt suicide. Some of these predators even watch live streamed self-harm and other violent content." End quote. Christopher Rea, assistant director in charge of the FBI New York, said in a statement, quote, "Manipulating the most vulnerable members of society, our children, to produce sexual harmful material to further their depraved goals is unconscionable. The FBI is determined to do whatever necessary to stop the heinous actions of 764 and hold them accountable in the justice system." Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a press release, quote, "We will find those who exploit and abuse children, prosecute them, and dismantle every part of their operation," unquote. What happens next? 2 men arrested in conjunction with 764 activities are awaiting trial and could face life in prison if found guilty. The FBI issued the following advice to parents, quote, "Beware of your child's online activities, especially to whom he or she may be communicating with, and make use of online platforms' parental controls," unquote. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual violence, you can contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 800-656-4673, or contact the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, RAINN, all caps, helpline via their website, rainn.org. If you or someone you know needs mental health assistance right now, call the National Suicide Prevention Helpline at 1-800-273-TALK 8255. This is a free, confidential crisis hotline that is available to everyone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're in another country, you can go to www.befrienders.org to find a helpline near you. If you or someone you know has been a victim of 764, we would like to hear your story. You can get in touch by emailing sg.clark@newsweek, newsweek.com. Thank you very much for listening. And remember, this program is sponsored by 2 companies. One is Conscious Research Solutions. Check us out at passionateworldtalkradio.com/research made simple. Blog. Read all the reasons why there's pain points and how you can deal with them. And then stop in, have a 15-minute free consultation with us of how we can help you with potential research, future research, or how to communicate that research to the rest of the world. That's passionateworldtalkradio.com/research made simple blog, and also by Global Media Network, LLC. And remember, folks, have a great rest of the week. Thank you very much.